Today marks a dark day in Zambia's young democracy. What has transpired today raises serious concerns about constitutionalism, public trust, and the integrity of our democratic processes. Our position has always been clear and consistent. The Constitution must never be amended without broad consensus, public participation, and strict adherence to constitutional procedures. Any deviation from this standard weakens the very foundation of our democracy. Countrymen and women, you will recall that a few weeks back, we entered into a social contract with the Oasis Forum. Parliamentarians and Oasis Forum agreed to work together to stop Constitutional Amendment Bill number 7. We further agreed that during parliamentary debates and committee sittings at Parliament, stakeholders would not make submissions to the committee or indeed participate in the debates on the floor of the House, as doing so would legitimize an illegal process. In keeping with the agreement that was made between members of Parliament and the Oasis Forum, some MPs and I stayed away from National Assembly and instead decided to go to the Constitutional Court, where the court was hearing a matter on Constitutional Amendment Bill number 7. However, a number of MPs from both sides of the House went to the chamber and voted for the Constitutional Amendment Bill number 7. So the 135 members of Parliament who voted for Bill 7 have indeed failed the Zambian people. They have failed the people that voted for them, the people that sent them to the House to represent them. It is an unfortunate and constitutional amendment. What we're witnessing is the unfortunate reality of a non-constitutional amendment and a contradiction in terms, yet an accurate description of a process that fails both the spirit and the letter of constitution governance. The way forward is clear. Zambians must decide. In August, the power does not lie in Parliament alone. It lies with the people of Zambia. This is the moment for citizens to make their choices heard and assert their sovereignty and to shape the future of their nation through democratic choice.
I see none. Report adopted. Day for third reading.
Now, Madam Speaker.
Order, honorable members. Let's encourage the Honorable Minister. Third reading of the bill to be taken now. The Honorable Minister of Justice.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the bill be now read for the third time.
Order, honorable members. Honorable members, I wish to remind the House that as earlier announced, this is a bill to amend the Constitution and as such requires to be supported by not less than 2/3 of the votes of all the members of the Assembly, in accordance with Article 79(2) of the Constitution. In this regard, the House will proceed to vote. I put the question. The question is that the bill be now read the third time. The House will vote electronically, only using the Bosch multimedia units. Please ring the bell. Ring the bells.
Good afternoon. You are tuned in to Parliament Television. under consideration is the Constitution of Zambia Bill, National Assembly Bill number 7 of 2025. It has passed the second reading stage. It has equally passed the committee stage, and it was also read, it's going to be read actually every time.
And so we expect members of parliament to vote electronically. And just now we look at the objects of the Constitution of Zambia Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 7 of 2025. This bill seeks to revise the composition of the National Assembly to provide for the increase in the number of constituency-based seats from 156 to 211 to actualize the delimitation report by the Electoral Commission, and also to revise the electoral system for election to the National Assembly to provide for a mixed member proportional representation electoral system to guarantee the representation of women, youths, and persons with disabilities.
The bill also seeks to revise the provision relating to filing of fresh nominations on resignation of the candidate, revise the provisions relating to by-elections, revise the number of nominated members of parliament, harmonize the term of parliament and council to achieve a 5-year term.
And also to provide for a vacancy in the office of minister and provincial minister 90 days before a general election, remove the 2-term limit for office of mayor and council chairperson, revise the composition of the council to include members of parliament holding constituency-based seats.
The bill also seeks to revise the qualifications for appointment to the office of the Secretary to the Cabinet, provide for the Attorney General and Solicitor General to continue in office after a general election until new office bearers are appointed, revise the definition of words child and adult.
And also to provide for clarity on the period within which an election petition shall be concluded, and to provide for matters connected with or incidental to the foregoing.
Second paging sound. The vote will close after 1 minute. You have just voted. The results are as follows. Order. Order, honorable members, order. You have just voted and the results are as follows. Abstain, 0. No, 0. Yes, 135. Honorable members, the 2/3 required has been satisfied. Let the bill be read the 3rd time.
The Constitution of Zambia Amendment Bill
The Constitution Amendment Bill number 7 of 2025 has passed 3rd reading after securing the constitutional required 2/3 majority vote. The bill recorded strong support at both the 2nd and 3rd reading stages. During the 2nd reading, 131 members of parliament voted in favor, while 2 voted against the bill. At the 3rd and final reading, the bill was approved, with 135 members of parliament voting in support and none opposing it. Area presenting the report of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Bill number 7, Committee Chairperson Binwell Mpundu informed the House that the committee received submissions from more than 40 stakeholders. He said the majority of stakeholders supported the proposed constitutional amendments, although a few raised concerns and opposed the bill. Mr. Mpundu also provided Parliament with a background to the amendments and rationale behind them.
The committee recommends that status quo in the Constitution should be maintained, as by-elections are a legitimate way of having the people's representative in the National Assembly. Clause 16 seeks to amend Article 153 in order to introduce members of Parliament in the councils. Madam Speaker, the committee strongly and earnestly supports this amendment in view of the fact that members of parliament are the legitimate representatives of the people.
Contributing to the debate, Leader of the Opposition Robert Chebinga called on members of parliament to focus discussions on the bill within the House rather than on social media. He urged members of parliament to debate freely and support the bill without fear.
No one should intimidate you because you have a duty. And the duty that we have, Madam Speaker, is that we were voted by the people to come to this parliament and make laws. And therefore, Madam Speaker, it's very disheartening to see that amongst ourselves, we are able to criticize ourselves that this is not a people-driven constitution. I don't know whether, Madam Speaker, we have an animal-driven constitution. We only have people-driven constitution. Everyone here, your members, Madam Speaker, we were voted for by the people. Therefore, we are representing the over 20 million plus people.
However, Nkana Member of Parliament Binwell Mpundu opposed the bill, arguing that the technical committee, which made submissions to Parliament, was illegally constituted. Ms. Mpundu strongly criticized the process, describing the proceedings in Parliament as unlawful.
Speaker, when the UPND initiated this process, they sat down and agreed on clauses to be amended in our constitution. You know, Madam Speaker, they committed an illegality. It has been stated by the Constitutional Court that the process that gave rise to Bill 7 was unconstitutional. It saddens me, Madam Speaker, that some lawyers who have never even won a case would argue against constitutional judgment. Constitutional judgment, Madam Speaker, according to Article 1 and 128 of the Constitution, binds every state organs, including this Parliament.
Meanwhile, Minister of Justice Princess Kasune outlined the objectives of the bill, explaining that the proposed amendments are intended to strengthen the constitutional governance and address identified gaps in the current legal framework.
The reforms are a bold statement by Zambians and indeed the democracy that we belong to, not just for the few. Here we are. We are here to ensure that the woman in Kasama is also having a share to the cake.
With the bill now passed, the National Assembly, it will be presented to President Hakainde Hichilema for assent, after which it will officially become law. Blessings Mkandewa reporting, Crown TV News, Lusaka.
We are obviously very disappointed with the outcome at the National Assembly today, but that is the National Assembly's role, and ultimately it is members of Parliament that decide and vote on these things. What Chapter 1 Foundation and many other civil society organizations had hoped for is that the National Assembly would at least stop this process and call for comprehensive reforms that address many of Zambia's governance challenges. The problem that we had with Bill 7 was that it did not, in our view, address the challenges we face as a country, or addressed some of the challenges but left the underlying gaps unaddressed or unattended to. And we thought a comprehensive approach to constitutional reforms is the best approach, but obviously that was not how members of Parliament felt. So in terms of the way forward, this was the non-contentious part in government's plan, so it would be interesting to see what the contentious part looks like. We still remain convinced that hopefully at one point we will come to reforms that actually address many of the governance challenges that we face, reforms that enhance accountability of members of Parliament to citizens, enhance transparency in decision making, and overall strengthen our democracy rather than weaken or undermine it.
President Hakainde Hichilema has called on Zambians to unite and refocus on national development following the conclusion of debates on Constitution Amendment Bill No. 7, describing the process as a major test of the country's democratic maturity. The president says despite different views and intense debate, the outcome reflects a healthy democracy where citizens' voices were heard through Parliament as the National Assembly prepares to present the bill for assenting into law.
President Hakainde Hichilema has called on Zambians to unite and refocus on national development following the conclusions of the debate surrounding the Constitutional Amendment Bill 7, describing the process as a critical test of the country's democratic maturity. In a Facebook post monitored by Crown TV, President Hichilema says Bill 7 has been one of the most topical and consequential national issues in recent times, attracting widespread public interest, intensifying lobbying and robust debate across the political divide. The head of state acknowledged that the process was marked by different views, emphasizing that both agreements and disagreements are essential components of a healthy and functioning democracy. President Hakainde Hichilema stressed, however, that democratic engagement must ultimately result in resolutions that is respected by all stakeholders, regardless of their individual positions. He said the biggest beneficiaries of the entire process are the Zambian people and the country's democracy, noting that citizens were able to make their voices heard through the elected representatives in parliament. The president has since urged the government, the opposition, civil society, and all citizens to put aside differences and move forward together, focusing on theirs. The National Assembly is set to present the Constitutional Amendment Bill No. 7 to the president for assenting into law. Marina Milimo, Crown TV News, Lusaka.
The ruling United Party for National Development, UPND, has adopted Timothy Kantenga as its candidate for the Chawama by-election set for January 15th, 2026. Mr. Kantenga beat 5 other rivals who were vying for the seat under the UPND ticket. Here is more.
As campaigns for the Chawama parliamentary by-elections kick off immediately after filing in of nominations tomorrow, the United Party for National Development has adopted Timothy Kantenga as its candidate. The seat was declared vacant on 28 November 2025 after what the Speaker termed as prolonged absence of then area Member of Parliament, Tesila Lungu Mwansa. And UPND Chairperson for Elections and Campaign, Gary Kombo, says Mr. Kantenga is the people's choice on the ground, expressing confidence of scooping the seat.
And how we've arrived at a candidate who's going to carry the flag for UPND in that election. There's general consensus. And I want you to understand that it is normal to have bad feelings if you are not the one. It is extremely normal. There is nothing that is abnormal about it. Because when your expectations have been curtailed, you obviously get destabilized. But I'm quite certain that the engagement that we've had with all the candidates will yield at a certain point because everything heals. At this point in time, allow me to announce the name of Mr. Timothy Kantenga.
Meanwhile, Mr. Kantenga has assured that he will work towards delivering development to the people of Chawama, promising not to disappoint the party's development aspirations.
Humbled indeed, I'm the best that has been chosen from the creme de la creme of the party. And I would love to extend my gratitude to you and beg for your support. I can't win this by-election without you, my colleagues. To the President of the Republic of Zambia, His Excellency Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, the national management, the province, the district, Chawama constituency, ward officials, I'm very, very humbled indeed, extremely humbled. I've got very little to say at this moment.
And other contenders within the party have pledged to work with Mr. Kantenga to secure the vote for the ruling party.
Thinking that I was going to be adopted because I'm a lady. But at the end of the day, you know, the party will decide. There are so many, you know, ndikambe muchinyanja chipani mwamene chachitira kusankha sichinasankhe kuti atinanga amene ali popular pa ground ni ndani amene anachita chani kuchipani ni ndani vachuzinga chabe candidate wakuti he was the right candidate to run for Chawama seat and the candidate is Timothy Kantenga.
Let's appreciate what the party has done. And to me, I don't have any feelings. I stay in Chawama. You'll find me in Chawama. All what you want is to uplift the sufferings of the people that side, so that we work as a team. Today it seems I don't have strong feelings. People are there. We are human beings. But the fact of the matter, it has been settled.
For Crown Television in Lusaka, Tawanda Munyoki.
As we dive into what we looked at in the news. Now, the News Diggers this morning has a screaming headline that reads, Speaker Muti celebrates, leads MPs into dance as 135 vote to pass Bill 7. Be careful who you elect if you want good laws, and that is by Mwitwa. Another headline there reads, UPND adopts Timothy Kantenga for Chawama. We have seen that, and that was covered even in our news this morning. New voters won't vote in Chawama by election. ECZ. MMD to hold a convention. That is by Sichilima. And those are the major headlines in the News Diggers newspaper. The number is 0979 958392. We will open the phone lines later on in the show for you to tell us what your thoughts are on what we are looking at this morning. But for now, you can send us your text messages and be a part of the conversations we are looking at. Tell us what your thoughts are regarding the newspaper headlines that we are currently looking at this morning.
All right, other stories there that you expect to find. This one says it is done and dusted as Palei votes for Bill 7 to pave way for new law. That is according to the Times of Zambia newspaper this morning. Other stories that you expect to find in there read. All right, so definitely Bill 7 victory is for Zambians. That's according to the Republican president. Party needs 253 billion for 2026 national budget. Plus, also the other one says citizens react to landmark vote. UPND unveils Chawama candidate. Wife cues hubby and takes on life over cash. Those are pretty much the stories that you expect to find in there. Another one says it's a whitewash. Obviously, this is in line with the vote that happened yesterday in Parliament on the Constitutional Bill number 7 that just passed through. So those are some of the stories that we are looking at in the Times of Zambia newspaper. Send us a text message and let us know what your views are on those different stories this morning.
Yes, indeed. The number is 0979-958-392. If you want to get in touch with us and let us know what your thoughts are on the stories that we are sharing with you. The Mass newspaper leads with the story, Zambia, now a dictatorship. MPs have killed democracy by passing illegal Bill 7, Tangala. As a lead story in the Mass newspaper. Other stories, Concord dismisses fresh Chawama seat bid. Is another story that is making the headlines. Be aware of online sextortion, warns NGO, is another story that is in the Mass newspaper wireless. The other one says list of some opposition MPs who voted yes for Bill 7 is another story that is in the Mass newspaper. Speaker dances to celebrate Bill 7 success is another story that is in the Mast. And the other one says XPF boss Mwila reported to police for hate speech is another story that is in the Mast newspaper.
All right. Okay, and that is what we have in the Mast newspaper. Let's move on to the next newspaper this morning, which is the Daily Mail, Zambia Daily Mail this morning. All right, the screaming headline there is landslide for Bill 7. 137 lawmakers endorse Bill 7. No absentations at third reading. All right, that is the main headline. ECZ assures on Chawama poll. Another headline there reads, there's little hope in Donse. House of Chiefs commends MPs for passing Bill 7. People have spoken. HH. Money dispute ends in tragedy. 22 Kitwe houses flooded. All right, and we do have an inspirational quote there that reads, I will have to remember I am here today to cross the swamp, not to fight all the allegations. That is by Rosamund Benjamin Zander. That is what we have in the Zambia Daily Mail this morning. The number is 0979 958 8392.
Or simply go to our Facebook right about now and leave us a comment there on our Crown TV Zambia Facebook page. We are live. We get into another newspaper headline. And VJ, Speaker Muti dances to Bill 7 victory in Palais. HH calls for unity after Bill 7 victory. Advises Zambians who had been against constitutional amendments to respect the verdict of the parliament, which anonymously voted for Bill 7 despite having been constitutionally condemned as illegitimate by the Constitutional Court. Oasis Forum determined to halt Bill 7 enactment is another story that is in the Daily Nation newspaper this particular morning. So those are some of the stories that you are commenting to or commenting on by getting to send us a text message on the number 0979 958392 on the Raw Breakfast Show this morning.
You can also go to our Facebook page, which is Crown TV Zambia. Go to the comment section and leave your contributions there. We'll be more than happy to hear what your thoughts are on what we are looking at this beautiful Tuesday morning on the Royal Breakfast Show for the bill. Let's get to hear what our viewers have to say anyways about what transpired yesterday in Parliament. We are now going to be looking at some of the text messages that have come through on 0979 958392, and this one says, if indeed a 3 million was given to MPs who betrayed the people who sent them to Parliament for voting for whatever the bill, then this will reflect how corrupt the current government is. NN. Thank you very much, NN, for that text message. We appreciate it. We appreciate your contribution.
Mike, Mines and Kozi, good morning. I beg your pardon. Mines are Mike and Kozi, right? Good morning. Today is a great day for us Zambians. Yesterday we saw Zambia come together as one. No opposition or ruling, but unity of purpose. History was written. Sad for those who abstained because they have gone into history on the bad side. Honorable Mundubile should not lament but introspect. The people of Mporokoso should now assess me after serving for close to 20 years in terms of what he has delivered. This is from RK. RK, we like it when you are tuned in. Thank you so much for always being a part of the conversations that we are having on Crown TV.
Yes, indeed. This one says, morning, War Mike, Brother Makokwa and Madam Mainza. I wish to thank all the MPs who voted for Bill 7 to go through. Truly, this shows how maturity our MPs are, or how matured our MPs are, waiting to see what action Honorable Jean Kapata will take. Shame. Kamasongo Kamaya from Mamba. Thank you so much, Kamasongo. We really appreciate your contribution this morning.
All right, good day to you indeed. Politicians should always know what we the people want. The court actions against Bill 7 were against we the people and reminded us of the PF atrocities we endured. PF is gone, never to resurrect. 13500 is a historical hashtag. 13500 star is historical indeed. Senior most citizen, thank you so much for your contribution.
It's a star for me.
It's a star. 0979958392 is the number that you are contacting us to be able to be a part of the conversations we're having this morning.
This one says, good morning, Crown TV. PF MPs will not be punished as it is now the legitimate PF is in the hands of Chavinga, and the other group is simply a PF faction going by the current trends. My worry is about what the remarks the UPND members are writing about other Zambians, Oasis Forum, and the Catholic bishops on social media. We are being divided by such remarks. We can do better. Edward. Thank you very much, Edward. We appreciate your contribution. We appreciate your text message.
Yes, of course, the number is 0979-958392. This one says, happy morning, Might Mike, Might Kozi, and Might Mainza. Zambia is happy because what we wanted happened. Thank you to the mighty members of parliament, Kapata and the lieutenant. Don't pay the members of parliament. All of this happened because of the mighty Crown TV for Light to the Nation, ALB of Chiwena Cubs Mazabuka. God bless you all and God bless Zambia. Thank you so much, LLB. I really appreciate you for writing to us this morning.
0979-958392. Good morning. Bill 7 is through. Congratulations. Congrats, Zambians, including you, the presenters. To my surprise, the opposition also supported it overwhelmingly, meaning everyone was in support. Maybe only Binwell Mpundu, Maus, Zampa, or Maus and Kapianga have been left wondering what has hit them. Majority wins in democracy. So congrats once again to the UPND government. Baron Sichela from Pongwe. Good to know Pongwe is watching and tuned in this morning. The number is 0979958392. We are looking at parliamentarians overwhelmingly voting for the pass of Bill 7.
Good morning, panel. It is done and dusted. Hooray, the pig is dead. Congratulations to my honorable MPs who voted overwhelmingly for Bill 7 to pass. It is a people's constitution. Let us all rally behind it and forge ahead. HH is the best president Zambia has ever produced since 1964. Zambians, let's celebrate. This is our Christmas bonus. Uncle GB from Kasanengwa. Thank you very much, Uncle GB. We appreciate you. You can also send your text messages to 0979958392. Alternatively, you can go to our Facebook page, which is Crown TV Zambia, and leave your comments and contributions in the comment section of this particular broadcast. We'll be more than happy to hear what your thoughts are as regards what we are discussing this morning.
Definitely. 0979958392. What transpired yesterday in Parliament was commendable, and there should be no intimidation wheresoever, as every MP has the mandate to do so in their will, democratically. However, Mr. Binwell Mpundu and the MP from Pika should up their game and do a lot more research and acting in the way that is setting a bad example for many youths. I believe going forward, Mr. Binwell Mpundu will improve in his conduct, as he's been so that way this year in the House. Simbama Titus from Lumwana Manyama, Kalumbira district. Thank you so much for coming through and for sharing your views.
All right, the speaker could celebrate. It is justified. There is a response we were looking for. What has happened is unprecedented. History has been written during her tenure. Well done, Speaker Muti. A lot will be said, but forget. RK is coming back with this text message. 0979958392 is the number that you are contacting to be able to tell us what your thoughts are this morning.
Good morning, panel. Was speaker celebrating Shua? I thought she is a referee in Parliament. Lakson Kandela from Chongwe, Talimbana. Thank you very much, Lakson. We appreciate your text message. We appreciate your contribution.
0979958392.
Hey, good morning, Mainza, Kozi and Mike. Nice topic. I'm enjoying this morning. Have a good day. Obviously, Mr. Mpande from Siavonga. Thank you so much, Mr. Mpande, and have a great day as well.
All right. We love to know that Siavonga is a part of the conversations today. All right, Chama by-election. UPND cannot be blamed for not adopting that beautiful lady. It is primarily NGOCC to blame for joining the highly compromised partisan Oasis Forum to fight Bill 7, which sought to empower the women folk. NGOCC must apologize to the women folk for betraying their cause. Women are the majority voters, but women are truly their own enemies. Sililo Maswabi. Interesting that NGOCC is always looked at as there for women. Gender. Gender is both men and women, you know. So I think we need to also highlight the fact that, you know, NGOCC also look at female issues. But we appreciate you for coming through and giving us your contribution this morning.
We are happy for Bill 7. Let the will of the be done. Siman Mwinga. Thank you very much, Siman. We appreciate your text message and your contribution on the Real Breakfast Show.
This one says, hi, good morning, enjoying the show and following the discussion. Aphias K from Lusaka. Thank you so much, Aphias. We thank you for being a part of the conversation as well.
All right. We are still reading your text messages this morning. We want to hear what you have to say and your contributions to the different topics we're looking at this morning. In our news, in our newspaper headlines as well, we are covering what happened yesterday in Parliament and also the adoption of a new political player for Chawama constituency. Everyone speaks in the name of the people, but in whose name do the people speak for themselves? Oasis learned the hard way. The elitist approach to the constitutional making cost the opposers a win. All right, this does not have a name attached to it, but thank you so much for tuning in.
Morning Raw Breakfast Show. The overwhelming majority vote for Bill 7 is in Palais clearly reflects the wish of the people. Muyunda in Elston. Thank you so much, Muyunda, for coming through, and we really appreciate your contribution.
Where does the speaker belong, to UPND or opposition, or she is supposed to be neutral? Can a ref celebrate a goal? What she did is very bad to democracy. Nowhere does a speaker belong to UPND or opposition, or she is supposed to be neutral. Can a referee celebrate a goal? What she did is very bad to democracy because there is no fairness. There's no name to that particular text message, but we appreciate it. Thank you very much for sending it. We continue taking in your text messages on 0979 958392.
This one said, I failed to follow what Brian Mundubile was saying in that clip. The opposing views on the Bill 7 from all angles are now dusted and done. The first ever highest vote margin in the history of Palais. This is according to PD of Pemba. Thank you so much, PD.
All right. PD in Pemba is telling us what he has to say. You can also come through and tell us what you have to say. Nothing wrong with dancing of the speaker. She has been abused in that parliament. It was a relief on her part. Malambo, Livingston, people of Livingston are here telling us that it is okay that the speaker had a dance in parliament.
And this one says, Madam Speaker, na vinira ise Mazambian. Kuti bad law is gone forever. Mr. Elias Chinata Kukabwe. We are very, very happy. That's according to Mr. Elias. Thank you so much, Mr. Elias. We appreciate you coming through. We are happy that you brought to us.
Morning, guys. The speaker was good to dance. That was her feeling. Siabusu Siavonga. Thank you very much, Siabusu. From Siavonga, we really do appreciate your text message.
All right, 0979 958392. Good morning, our presenters on the Republic. First and foremost, congratulations to those who participated in voting. We salute you because you stood with the majority. Emmanuel Chinyota, Livingston is following. All right, Mike's home is really tuned in this morning.
Definitely.
Livingston.
I told you a few months ago that people of Livingston do not know what load shedding is. I'm really informed. This one says, Morning Crown TV. Always my pleasure to be part of RBS. I have developed a strong attraction, a strong and crazy attachment, RBS. And conversation to one, such that missing these programs feels like suffocating. Samba Mbichirika Manyinga District of Northwestern Province. Thank you so much. Actually, I wrote us a similar text message.
Yes, yesterday.
Yeah, we
thank
really
you very
appreciate
much.
it.
We appreciate your support. Good morning, my sons and a daughter, Mike, Kozi, and Mainza. Every member of parliament in the house was happy. So there was nothing wrong with her to dance. In our Zambian culture, it's normal to dance when you are happy. LLB Cubs Mazabuka. Thank you very much, LLB. We appreciate your text message and appreciate your contribution. We are happy that Mazabuka is watching.
All right, 0979-958392. Good morning, family. We thank God the bill has passed. And now let's move on. Zambians, now well done MPs. Robin in Gardens. I believe Zambians now, this is in alignment with the coming election.
The Speaker's celebration was not wrong in any way because it's not only the UPND MPs that voted for it, but also the PF. She was neutral. Yeah, quite interesting aspect there. Yeah, to think about.
Calvary greetings, Crown TV and fellow citizens of our great mother Zambia. Bravo to all Zambians and our brave lawmakers for reciprocating patriotism to our nation. This huge milestone, and this is a huge milestone, and it will be written in the history archives of Zambia. Otherwise, posterity would have judged us if we didn't do the needful. Reverend E. Mukwena, Livingstone. Thank you very much, Rev. We appreciate your text message and we appreciate your contribution this morning.
Definitely. So says morning panel. I'm afraid Zambia is slowly turning into a one-party state. Mark my words. That's according to Monde C. Monde, thank you so much for coming through and sharing your view as well as your contribution.
I would have loved that Monde gives us a highlight on which clauses they feel that will turn the country into a dictatorship because of this bill. Sure.
Well, definitely that's a view. But thank you so much for coming through, Mondesi. We really appreciate it.
It is said that inheriting other people's enemies, making them your own for the sake of loyalty, is evidence of mental bankruptcy. Let wisdom prevail.
I love that. I really love that.
I love it.
There's a video that I was looking at on social media recently of this, I think is a reverend, a priest, talking about inheriting other people's enemies for loyalty.
Okay.
The Speaker celebrating, why not if not? Isn't she affected by the laws passed in the House? No name to it. Thank you very much, but we appreciate your contribution. And you can also send yours to 0979-958-392, or you can go to our Facebook page.
You may not like it, but a Speaker is a presidential appointee. This is according to Banda of Chama there. Thank you so much, Banda. We really appreciate your text message and thank you for your contribution. Time now for us to pick up your calls. You can give us a call and we'll be glad to speak to you.
0979-958392. That's 0979-958392. We want to hear what you have to say. Let's pick up our very first call this morning. Hello. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mauka Bueno.
Bueno muli bwanji.
Tahati Bueno.
Okay, pitirizani.
Okay. La speaker ni walifali. La speaker ni walifali. Oro hivi alikusaidi ya UPND. Sasa fani kuoneshera kuti no wachita vita. Because la speaker ni walifali. So mwana wanashitira paga. Chokondweresa kababa chilungamo chokondweresa. So when government inanguyabwera yambo wakonka mtu wantu tizambo kamba chani because vilifali timaona kuma England. Timaona vile vifashika kuma England malifali. So bamena nashita pali wewe pali no time vilibwino koma when government inanguyabwera izakaoneka voipa. Kai kuli time yokondwa kuli time yovazowala. Including na ma-MP wena ngulana na shita hivi. Ni machefu yao. Koba like kuno Western Province. Ma-MP amenya wose wana vota wa makoko ni kuuzani. Ngati kuzabwela kwa ma-MP azanka yakapena wawili. Yeresti mzaka wana ma-MP hata akabwele huko. imafeshena chifukwa one sivachita consider vantu vamene vana vavhotera. MP afanika number one respect kuli vantu vake vamene anavhotera noti kufuna kwake kumtima. So vamene vanachita bwino chifukwa chakumtima kwawo. Koma tisi apa sitenda kuma election vazambo wagwadira vantu vajosauka. Vazambo wafuna vajasali bekena kali konse vazambo wafuna. Azaoneka bwana pa time yake manje. So anyway, tiani vili kusogolo kwa mene tienda. Zibo mama kwa.
Ziko mwakambira bande, we appreciate.
Yes, Mr. Arik, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Arik Arik, for being our first caller. We have another caller on the line. Good morning.
Good morning, Mike, and my other brethren on the panel.
Good morning,
Mr. Moses.
No major breakdowns. The minor ones I enjoyed.
Mr. Moses, I'm also here. You can also greet me. I'm right here.
You know, me, myself, I'm a Democrat, so I was against the Bill 7, but I have to respect the views of other citizens, and that is how we should be. Munga muntu amene aimidira pa democracy. Kali you cannot have it or bonse dizinkhala kuside kwako. And it's a lesson to the ruling party that don't expect that whatever view you bring, then we are going to accept. We are going to oppose. Zambians who oppose. Zambians we are good at talking. We don't like fighting. So us in kukamba jabe. So we'll be talking and we are not going to stop. Wherever we feel this is not in the interest of the nation. And I want to agree with Vamonde that it takes 9. I'm afraid because what I'm seeing now, we are removing term limits now. Term limit for councillors, mayors, and the next term limit that will be debating about. I can assure you, not during the UPND, maybe in future, is that, Ken Josepo term limit ya president. So I hope that is not going to happen during the UPND time. So in conclusion, chamene ningaone pwa chikulire wa Mike na imo onse uko mainza njauti mwaona hapa tichionika kuti futi partisan politics ndiye amene yononga ziko yatu. So tifunika nkhala kona with more independent members of parliament, because when you have more independent members of parliament, some of these struggles we've had on Bill 7, maybe we are going to have people with independent mind. But you can see, because most of them they are coming from political parties, they've been threatened, Zakupishan and so on. Now the decision taken by the PF cannot be so strong. They are divided.
Thank you so much.
I can assure you, if there was no division in PF, that was going to happen.
Thank you so much, Mr. Moses.
Yeah, so in conclusion, well, we thank God, and as a Democrat, let's respect the decisions of other people.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your contribution. We have another caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mike.
Yes, good mornings.
Wamakokwa.
Shangwe.
Mwabuga buti.
Kaboto, mwabuga.
Wabuga mdara.
Torumba.
Uncle Patrick calling you from Copper Belt in Mpongo area, farming area.
Yes, Uncle Patrick.
Thank you very much. Ruviro wa makokwa Mike Mainza. I can say ya chitabwino kupito kweba tutontonkanye ko fimbi tumone momwe no mubalera nde filimo fimwene fwebe Fwebino I consuest twa kwata ikulu ba Maiza more. Let us hope na ife tukasangwemo. I push on that one.
Oh, that line is quite bad. All right. 0979958392. Hello.
My adult girl, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Very, very good. Nkumba Bunonge is my name.
All right, Mr. Bunonge, go ahead.
in the first place, I'm one of the happiest person this time around because we labored so much to ensure that this bill is supported by all members of parliament who mean well. So even some of the submissions that I made, most of them are part of the amended, will be part of the amended constitution now. Especially that come next year, we shall have persons with disabilities speaking for themselves in National Assembly as well as local councils. And women, number of women increased, number of youths, part and parcel of the decision-making bodies. That's what we have been crying for. I pray, I wish the appointment of ministers from outside the National Assembly was also part of the amendments. I would be very happy. The other issue I want to comment on, these PF members of parliament, I think they have done a correct thing. These people were voted in their individual consensus. How come Bishop Ari Banda should have seduced them to do wrong things against the people who voted for them? So thank you that those MPs from PF, they did the correct thing. Now let us go to Shiwangandu and Mpika Central as well as Mporokoso. If these people never sent Munduvira and the colleagues to do what they did, I think they should reject those people anymore. Okay? But if they agreed, that is what Munduvira stood for and in the country was stood for and these others stood for, is the consensus agreement. No delimitation should take place in their consensus. Okay? Unless they distance themselves from such behavior, then yes, their consensus equally can be delimited. But if they agreed, leave them as they are, like they are more comfortable. Now, other issues to say, why did the speaker celebrate? And some people are comparing with the referees. You know, certain debates are very immature. For example, when Zambia is playing Zimbabwe, where do they get a referee from? Do they get from Zambia or from Zimbabwe? They get from a neutral country. But where does the speaker, Neri Muti, belong? Where does she belong? Is she a Zambian? Or is he a foreigner that was not supposed to take part in the celebration that concerns this country? You know, certain debates are just from some bishops who claim to speak for people whom they don't even consult. But just because they have a privileged position to lead the people, then they think they carry their decision, which is wrong. Celebrating something that concerns you is not evil. We saw even with Mativini used to do the same. So I don't know whether people just hate others, then they don't think they can do something better. She's a woman, and if women have, what is wrong to celebrate if you are a woman? A person with a disability, if a disability has won, what is wrong? A youth, when things are okay, what is wrong to celebrate such? Anyway, I am just happy that we are going to be told that the seats are going to be distributed, because what we don't want is to pick someone or people from Lusaka to represent persons with a disability, or people from Copper Belt to represent. Those seats should be spread. Those young people seats should be spread. Women also, I heard it was 2 per province. I wish the same should have done even for persons with a disability, 1 per province. Youth, at least 1 from each province. That would be much better. Congratulations to you media who gave us chance to advocate to good people like Christopher Kangombe, who have defied that bishop who doesn't have a following. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate your contribution. That's Mr. Munonge there calling us all the way from Kalabo. We do have another caller on the line. Good morning.
Good morning, comrade. How are you?
Mr. Wiseman.
Yes, comrade. Good morning, other comrade.
Morning. How are you doing?
Fine. I wanted to praise my beautiful sister. Now, sometimes comrade Marco will be jealous, so I tried to put down the category of comrade.
It is allowed. It's okay.
Thank you very much, my leader. I think for me it's too quick. First of all, let me congratulate myself and other Zambians who participated in the process of Bill 7. Those of us Zambians who have won, we celebrate. Those of our friends who were in an opposing side, they haven't lost. That's how democracy is. And secondly, let me personally congratulate Crown TV for being the outstanding media institution which has been giving people the right information towards whatever current affair happens in our country. I think you played a major role in educating people, understanding what was Bill 7 and what was currently happening in Bill 7 than other media who joined in misleading the masses without leading. Moving out of my congratulatory remarks, let me now dwell into the nitty-gritties of things, comrade. When I said Zambians, we don't lead, this is what has now led to us Zambians following blindly from these blind politicians. First of all of us Zambians, we believed that those who were coming on TV and parade themselves against Bill 7, they won't vote. The result of it showed us that these politicians who have been misleading us for the sake of those who sponsor them, they will mislead you until you find yourself alone. Then you cry after that. Look at the vote. Secondly, yesterday after the Bill 7 passed, I saw this politician, this MP. If he was my MP, I could have passed a vote of no confidence and render him not useful to our constituents, which he posted and said, the speaker is the referee, and I am very disappointed to see the speaker celebrate. Comrade, I can never find a referee scoring a goal in any match you have watched. Well, this is an own goal, it was scored by a referee. It is not. The speaker is not a referee. If you read our constitution, the speaker votes as well. In that house where voting was happening yesterday, the speaker is an ex-official, including the graduate speakers. They vote. So how could you expect a referee to score? Go and read before you show ignorance in public. And most especially you MPs who make laws, before you mislead us, your followers, go and read, then tell your followers the fact. When you are voting for what was happening today, the vice president votes, the speaker of the National Assembly votes, the two deputy speakers, they vote as well. So those are not referees, because even them, they are in the process of constitutional making progress. So they were voting. So if the speaker voted for yes, because she led what was in Bill 7 was progressive, and she considered what she voted for as going through, what will make her not to celebrate? That does not mean that she's UPND, no. Because even now, she's part and parcel of this country, she has got the right to vote, and she's mandated to vote yes or no. Even when they were voting for Bill 10, Patrick Matipini, all entitled to vote, actually he even voted by law. We just didn't know if he voted for yes or if he voted for no. If he voted for yes, then it fails. That's why he felt bad, maybe. If he voted for yes, then it failed to pass. Even he felt disappointed. So let's educate our people, let's educate our voters, let's give our voters the rightful information. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Comrade Wiseman of Kawe there. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Mr. Makokwa?
Very well, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Mr. Sakala, mine's my sister there. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Siabula from Chilanga.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, I know there are quite a lot that are coming on board. Let me just quickly do my submissions. Yeah, I'm very, very happy as a Zambian to have witnessed what I saw yesterday in Parliament. And that is what is supposed to happen, where the self is supposed to be killed and we look at the bigger picture. And the MPs, for the first time, if I ever doubted them, no, yesterday they did the right thing, and that's the way to go. Kudos to each and every MP for putting Mother Zambia on the map. Then secondly, people are commenting on the dancing of the MP. Please, what is wrong with that? Do we exactly know what the speaker, I'm talking about the speaker.
Yes.
Do you really exactly know what the speaker goes through on that seat? Yeah, he was trying to show his happiness. He was trying to at least relax a bit. And I don't say anything wrong. I was very surprised to hear that the government, sometimes when we change government, someone will be followed. Surely, do they follow you because you danced? No. Even the referees, when the game is over, I've seen them shaking hands with those that have won, those that have won, and those that have lost. There's nothing wrong in that, unless the speaker danced before her job. But the job was completely done, and then she had to at least shake a bit. So what is wrong with that? Which government can start looking for the MP to go and say, you danced and we know we want to lock you up and whatever? Let's be serious. And this issue where we are always jealous of whatever, this is even for the people that are jealous, this is for your own benefit. Let us have delimitations. Let us have the disabled. Let us have the youths. Let us have the women come on board. And you'll see now that things are going to change. Yeah. So why are people show disappointment after a good thing has happened like this? Zambians are not fools. Sorry for the lack of better ways. We are very wise people. We are a united people. And this is what is going to happen in 2026. Yeah, people may say this and that. We know what is good for us. And we cannot go back to Egypt. Even the children of Israel, when they left Egypt, they never went back. So it is always very dangerous to start going back to where you came from. We are going forward. And the one who is heading, the one who is the Moses of this time is HH. So thank you. Kudos to the MPs for coming together. Kudos to all the Zambians. And finally, Mr. Makokwa, it's not only the MP. I have got friends that are in NCP, people that are in PF, that we are celebrating at work. So are also those people going to be followed by the government? Followed because they danced. It's not only the speaker that danced. Quite a number of people danced. Even those that opposed, they danced. So thank you so much. Have a lovely day. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We are still taking your phone calls, and we do want to hear what you have to say. But for now, we will take a very short break. When we get back, more of the Royal Breakfast Show. So make sure you do stay tuned, because we are diving deep into the various things that we are looking at. And one thing we are not missing out is what happened yesterday in Parliament in regards to the passing of Bill 7. So don't go anywhere. We will be back shortly.
Thank you. The Honorable Member from Ghana.
Madam Speaker, today we are about to make a decision that will alter our constitutional democracy forever. One of the declarations we made when we came to Parliament was when we stood right beside you and we swore to defend and protect the Constitution, a solemn duty bestowed on every member of Parliament. Madam Speaker, the fundamental principles of amending any constitution is consensus building. Madam Speaker, we have not been here, this is not the first time. This country has amended the constitution several times. All those times, the fundamental issue has been on agreeing the process, number one, then secondly, agreeing on the contents. Citing the last attempt that was made by this August House through what was called Bill 10, that started with a meeting of political parties in Siavonga, which political parties agreed on a process. And that process needed to be protected by a law. They came to this August House and enacted a law that protected that process. Then came the issue of the contents, around which issues there was disagreement generally. That is why Bill 10 failed. So it must be stated that it is important for consensus to agree on the process. Madam Speaker, when the UPND initiated this process, they sat down and agreed on clauses to be amended in our Constitution. You know, Madam Speaker, they committed an illegality. It has been stated by the Constitutional Court that the process that gave rise to Bill 7 was unconstitutional. It saddens me, Madam Speaker, that some lawyers who have never even won a case would argue against constitutional judgment. Constitutional judgment, Madam Speaker, according to Article 1 and 128 of the Constitution, binds every state organs, including this Parliament. Whatever we are about to do, Madam Speaker, posterity stands to judge us. We are about to legitimize an illegality, as is stated by the Constitutional Court. Madam Speaker, let us refresh our memories.
Order, honorable members. Order, honorable member from Ghana. Please, no points of order, please, I had guided. Honorable member from Ghana, make sure that when you are debating, you are factual and interpret the judgment of the Constitutional Court in accordance to what was pleaded and what the holding of the court was. Do not read into the judgment, things that were not before the court. You may continue as guided.
Madam Speaker, let us refresh our memories. When the Bill 7 was brought to this August House, it was deferred. Why was it deferred? Because of what came from the Constitutional Court. Madam Speaker,
Order, honorable members, order, let's not make assumptions. Honorable member, just debate your issues or based on facts. Please debate according to facts which are verifiable. Don't make assumptions or conclusions. May the honorable member Fonkana continue.
the sad part with facts is that it hits you right where you don't like it. Madam Speaker, the President constitutes a technical committee. What would otherwise would have been the originating of what we're doing today? The technical committee went round collecting submissions from the people. We all do know the report of the committee, the technical committee, Madam Speaker, ends at making a submission to the President. After the submission of the technical committee to the President, their job ends. They become a functus official, meaning that their job and the authority to hold office ends. It is procedurally improper and constitutionally illegal for a technical committee to submit to a parliamentary select committee. That is law.
Order,
At least me who did a diploma in law, I can tell you that is illegal.
Order, 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 honorable member Fonkana. Order, as I guided honorable members, I know it's nice to be a lawyer, but if you don't possess those qualifications, don't try to interpret the law. I thought what we are discussing is the report of the select committee and the amendments. Honorable member, address yourselves to the proposed amendments, whether you support or you don't support. Don't lecture. Honorable member Fonkana, order. Let's not lecture on things that we are not familiar with, because we'll end up misleading the House and in the process, the nation. May the honorable member Fonkana continue as guided.
Madam Speaker, I swore to speak the truth whether it hurts people or not. Madam Speaker, I want to stand on the side of history, which side will dictate that we did what was right. Here in this organization.
All right, now joining us in studio, we have Honorable Binwell Mpundu, who is Nkana constituency member of parliament. He's going to give us some more insights now that this bill has passed by an overwhelming vote of 135 members of parliament in agreement with the passing of Bill 7. Honorable Saitat, it's amazing to have you here. How are you doing?
Thank you very much. I don't know if I should say I'm okay, but you know, it's a common response. I'm all right, but all things said, it's not a good day. It's not a good day. But anyway, not all days are Sundays.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, why? Sorry. Why do you think that is not a good day? I see. We were just watching you debating in Parliament yesterday. There was jubilation after what happened in Parliament. Why do you feel? And you wrote on your Facebook page that you felt betrayed by the people that you eat with, the people that you stay with. Why do you feel this way?
Let me state, first of all, that we as a country have crossed a line that would never go back to. What happened yesterday has completely altered our democratic, our democracy. Now, yes, people celebrated, unfortunately celebrated an illegality. Look, our
work as members of parliament is enacting laws. And we've done so for the last 4 years without so much ula-baloos. I think the last time we had this problem was when, the cyber laws were being enacted. For the Constitution, the rules are completely different. This is a people's document. To open up the Constitution, you need express permission from the people. All right? So there are two sides of this conversation. Okay? It is about what process was followed in amending the Constitution, and the second conversation is around the clauses that are contained therein in those proposed or the amendments that were passed yesterday. We have to start with the process, because I can tell you the two fundamental issues in a constitution amendment process is agreeing on the process. There's a requirement for consensus. Now, the Constitution is a law of the land. Whether those moving the amendments are in majority is not the issue. The issue is about even those in minority agreeing. Okay? Because we don't make the law to fix people. We make the law that makes every one of us comfortable. Okay? So the paramount issue with making the law or amending the Constitution is consensus. And consensus is built when you all agree on a process, number one. Then you then agree on the contents. They actually say the process protects the contents. I can refer to what happened the last time we attempted to amend the Constitution. The political parties first started by agreeing during the meeting that was held in Siavonga, agreeing on the process. That process was coined up in a law which was called the National Dialogue Forum. So there was an act of parliament called the National Dialogue Forum, in which law the process of amending the Constitution was agreed by all parties. Then the second issue that came was the contents. What shall we put in the law? What shall we remove in our Constitution? It was around the content that we could not build consensus on an agreement. That is how Bill 7, or rather Bill 10, failed. In the case of Bill 7, right from the initiation, the process that was followed was illegal, was something that has never been done done before. By UPND just sat, I don't know whether it's community house or where, the party secretariat, and agreed on the clauses. They called them non-contentious. Who tells you that these are non-contentious? Non-contentious should come from the people. They agreed and did a draft they called Bill 7. Now remember, that is where the trouble started, and people started voicing out saying, you cannot do this because you have not consulted us. The spirit of amending the Constitution dictates that you must go to the people. We must originate what must be contained in the amendment. And that is why when this matter was taken to the courts of laws, Munia, Zulu and Celestine, the court ruled, okay? The court gave a position that for as long as you did not go to the people, this stands more like an illegality. So the court ruled that you need to go back to the people, constitute a team that will go and collect submissions of the people. I think that is how you saw this bill be deferred. And that is why we argued from the initial. You can't defer this bill. You must withdraw. Okay? Because when you defer, we know you can bring it back, and the same way they did.
Right.
So we had wanted that after the Constitutional Court ruled, and seemingly the UPND looked like they had listened, they must have withdrawn that bill so that we now go back to the people after the constitution of the technical team. It should interest you, when the technical team was constituted, it was to do what? I thought that that should have been the originating or the origin of what we're doing today. Go to the people, get submissions, put those submissions together in a draft and a report to the president. I think that is what the technical committee did. Interestingly, the work of the technical committee, where does it end? Into just a mere submission. It is illegal. I know that Neri Muti wanted to scold at me saying I'm not a lawyer. We all don't have to be lawyers to be members of parliament. We all don't have to be lawyers to be able to state what the law says. Everything, in fact, I can tell the listening public, 99% of things we know, we did not go to school for them. You are aware of that? 99 things that we know, whether it's in biology or rather whether it's about the law, it's about medicine, it's about cooking. We did not go to school for that. We have picked those lessons along the journey of life. Right. So when we comment on the law, it should not be because we are lawyers. It's because we have been informed through reading. Okay? We have been informed by the rulings of the courts. We have been informed by writers, by scholars who have intimated that the work of the technical committee involves, number one, going to get submissions, putting those submissions together in form of a report, which report must be presented to the president. The president then must table that report in cabinet. And then cabinet tasks the Ministry of Justice to come up with a draft bill. When the technical committee submits a report to the president, they become in law what they call a functus official. They are no longer needed. Maybe save for consultation or otherwise, but they don't hold authority to hold office. It therefore is procedurally and constitutionally wrong to subject the technical committee to be a mere participant in the process, to go and submit to a select committee at parliament. This, I stand to challenge any lawyer worth his salt. This is what the law holds. What happened in this process where you ignore the work of the technical committee, who are the originators? You rely on a bill that was labeled unfounded, ungrounded on the law, is illegal, it's procedurally improper. Whatever happened yesterday is an illegality. What we were being called to do at Parliament yesterday is to legitimize illegalities. Now I can say this, colleagues. When you hold power, you may think you are almighty. We've seen this before. The PF, I belonged to the PF at some point. The PF enacted a law, or rather defied legal advice, allowed ministers to stay in office after the dissolution of parliament. They were wielding power then. But when later on the court ruled, what happened? They all paid. And that is the advice we're giving to the UPND today. You may look like you are almighty, even setting aside the ruling of the Constitutional Court. By the way, Article 1 and Article 128 of the Constitution dictates that the rulings of the Constitutional Court binds every office, including Parliament. So we were bound as Parliament to stop the illegalities. Bill 7 was an illegality. Had they brought the report of the technical committee, this would have been completely a different scenario. So let's agree, colleagues, that what we did yesterday was simply to legitimize an illegality. We raped the Constitution yesterday.
Right. Now, keeping that in mind, you may come forward and contest the process. You have highlighted that you feel yesterday was an illegality. But regardless of what you have to say, Honorable Sir, we did get a result. Yes. There was an overwhelming response by other members of parliament. Yes. Okay? And the bill has been passed and voted for to pass. What do you have to say after that?
Well, unfortunately, sometimes when you stand on the law, on the right side of things, you may stand alone. People have always remarked that the majority do not always mean they are right. I know there was celebration. Interestingly, I saw the speaker dancing. When I was walking in, I heard a comment where somebody was remarking that there's nothing wrong in the speaker dancing.
Right.
You cannot. This country cannot sink to that level. The speaker is a referee. We know she comes from the UPND, but she cannot dance. She cannot celebrate in that manner. Okay, this is sinking the country to the lowest end. You cannot. The moment you begin to entertain that, muleo na ule chalo. You saw what was happening yesterday. Speaker literally schooling us. That is not the job of the speaker. Okay, you don't have to be all lawyers. You don't have to, say what she wants to hear. Okay, the role of the presiding officer is to allow people to express themselves, and then at the end of the day, make a ruling according to, like you say, the people who sat in that house. But I'll say this: yes, Bill 7 has passed. Yes, we are going to have a new constitution. I stand here. I hope one day I don't come back to sit here and tell you, I warned you, I told you. What we did yesterday will haunt us many years to come back. Because I'll tell you this. Democracy entails that power belongs to the people. All right? You cannot shift that power to institutions or to one organ or to individuals. You must allow people to exercise their power in appointing people, in dictating what must happen. Some of the provisions in this bill are inimical to our democratic standing. You are shifting powers from the courts to the ECZ. What will happen in 2026, God forbid, will be a situation where you file in your nomination, having qualified at all levels, with all the dictates, and then ECZ simply say, you are not qualified according to the Constitution, and you cannot go anywhere. The process continues. This, you remember me one day, is what is going to happen next year in 2026. Colleagues, this country is in distress economically. Every little resource today must be harnessed to the common, to the good of our people. Are you telling me today is when you should increase parliament by, how many have we increased? So we're talking about 70 new seats. You must take a moment, because you guys are in the media, you do investigations. Take a moment to do numbers. What it means to create 70 new constituencies. You are creating 70 new cost centers. MPs. Do you know the cost of an MP? You are creating 70 establishments in terms of constitutional offices, buildings, officers that are going to sit in there, and all these associated costs. How many others are we getting? 20 women, 15 youth, 5 disabled, 40, yeah? So 70 plus 40, 110, plus 2 more, is it 3 more nominated? Colleagues, that's a huge number. That's a huge number by all standards, considering what we're going through. By the way, people have argued, and argued erroneously so, that development can only go to constituencies when there's delimitation.
Maybe before we come to a delimitation, do you, however, feel that we need to increase women representation in parliament?
Yes, we do.
Also youths and people living with disabilities.
Absolutely.
So you are not against this idea?
No. I am not against this idea. But I'll tell you this. Even as things stand today, let's ask each other, why have we not taken women to parliament? Why have we not taken the youth to parliament? Why have we not taken the disabled to parliament? Because the law as it stands today does not stop women, youth, and the disabled to go to parliament. Those who are, posturing themselves to be, agents of that desire, where have they been? Where was the UPND when they were nominating, rather adopting people? Why didn't they adopt women? Enough women. Why didn't they adopt, youth? Because I can tell you, yes, elections are a competition. But there are certain places like the Southern Province where UPND is very strong, the Northwestern where they're strong, the Western where they're strong, where they could have fielded young people, where they could have fielded women, and those women could have gone through. Why didn't they field young youth or women and the disabled? And this even by PF fielded one disabled in Chasef, even though he lost. So you see, where I come from, they say, ichikwanka bachimwena kumampalanya. Meaning that for you to say, you go to a woman if you're a man, you say, I will take care of you. You must be able to demonstrate, you know, I am kumumono mukashana na ka basket, mune utiko tuma flowers, no tuma fruits. Hala muna tukunga bangu paba, kukaba buino. You know, we must never live in deception.
But that is what you're saying now is leaving it at the party's discretion.
Yes. Right.
But we are putting it into law now.
Listen, there is a law here. The law does not stop women. The law does not stop the youth.
That's right.
Even when you are putting it to a law, what is the guarantee that, sir, it is that young woman who is going to be taken to parliament?
But now,
well, at least there will be a young woman.
The opportunity is being made very crystal clear.
There is a seat for that particular young woman.
Bakalamba, a seat for a young woman, a seat for a youth does not guarantee the ordinary, Zambians to be there. History will tell you, if today you interrogate the people who have been appointed, I have traveled as a member of parliament to certain countries, and I find relatives of the politicians sitting in the embassies. Well, I can mention 1, 2, 3. I just don't want to be dragged, but I know, and you are also aware, that there are a lot of relatives of the politicians in the UPND who are in those embassies. So what is the guarantee for a young person, for a woman, that when the law is, crafted, they are the ones who are going to be, sent to parliament? But the current law would actually stop, because when you are adopting, people will laugh at you to adopt mwana wenu. You understand? So the current status does not stop women, does not stop youth, does not stop the disabled from going to parliament. It is the political will. And if a leader does not demonstrate that desire now, what is the guarantee, or why would you be excited that it means well for you, if not them using that as a carrot, dangling it in your face so that you are excited? You are excited for what? You will never have that chance to go to parliament as an ordinary person, save for if you are related or you are acquaintances to these people.
Is that what Ichawaiche would do?
Ichawaiche is demonstrating today. We are going to by-election. Our young person, age 33, is actually fighting in nomination. That is what we stand for. If you look at the composition of Ichawaiche, it's completely young people. Because we believe that young people have been marginalized.
No.
And all they've
my
needed.
question is, you seem to be expressing fear that they will be appointing their relatives. Is that what Ichawaiche would do?
No, why would
but
we
this
do
is
that?
not a UPND law. This is
a law for everyone. And you should actually be in alignment with this, because as somebody who stands by Ichawaiche, you are an advocate for the youth. Now there's a law supporting and creating room to make sure that youths are included and are a part of it. Because what you're stating here, sir, is you have no problem with the contents of this bill.
No. Did I say that?
Let's make it clear.
No.
Let's make it clear.
I have a problem, number one, with the process. That's the biggest issue. And then I have a problem with the contents.
Okay.
Save for a few changes they made yesterday, some of the proposals they were making were extremely outrageous. For instance, they were trying to suggest that they stop people from going to stand as independents. Yes, they've changed that position. But you can imagine before yesterday, we were being told, Ngabakushaba political party were not adopted, you will not stand as an independent. Why were they trying to do that? It's because they knew a lot of their members were going to go independent, and they wanted to create a law to target those individuals. You don't create a law targeting those individuals. That's why we fell apart, because of the outrageous proposition they were making. Now, I'm saying this, my dear sister, I am not a guy who is easily moved by what glitters, because I believe what glitters is not God. I am not a guy that falls for deception. What the UPND have simply done in those amendments is deception. To dangle a carrot to the young people so that in excitement the young people will say, a chance has now been created for us to go to parliament. And I'm here telling the young people of Zambia, it is not you. It is their relatives. I'm telling the women, it is not you, it is their relatives.
Now, that is where I'm asking you. What if the UPND is voted out and Ichawaiche comes in? What do you have to say
We are
about
going
this
to,
now?
you see, for us, let me say this very clearly, colleagues. It's not like we've never needed amendments. We have always needed to amend the law. There are quite a number of issues within the law that, within our constitution, that needs to be adjusted. I have a number of issues which I would have loved to be part of what we were doing. Yes, that is why. If you listen as an example from the Oasis Forum,
Yes, sir.
when they made a presentation to the president, they said, Mr. President, for us we desire that we have a complete overhaul of the constitution. Because even Part 3, which is the Bill of Rights, needs to be amended so that we include some other rights that people are not enjoying. What we should have done yesterday was to have a complete overhaul of the law. And that should have started from the people. Okay? There are a number of clauses that we should have that should have been part of that, and some that should have not been part of it. That is why we are saying it is important always that you build consensus. You agree, colleagues, this is needed, this is not needed. I am saying this to you. We should not fall for deception.
You touched on this slightly. You touched on delimitation. All right? You got into it. What would happen if, because we know for sure, we have not been told what constituencies will be delimited.
There you go.
If Nkana constituency is delimited, where will you stand? And what do you have to say on it?
Oh, by the way, I'm not going back to Parliament. Okay. I'm vying for the top position.
All right.
You must make it clear.
Under Ichabaike?
Yes. Now, the delimitation report of 2019, the exercise that was conducted, I was district commissioner then. Okay? Kitwe had proposed new constituencies, I think about 2, all right, and many other places. Now, that is why when you are enacting a law, the number one issue is transparency and consensus. Does it really augur well with you, colleagues, that today we have even passed that same amendment, you still don't know which constituencies are going to be delimited? There's a report. That report was produced in 2019. Handed over to the executive. The executive should have made, if they were really transparent and they mean well to the people of Zambia, should have put out this, because there were 90 proposed new constituencies in the 2019, delimitation report. They have decided, first they decided they will create 55. They should have stated to the country, out of the 90, which 55 they were proposing to delimitate. They've now gone back to 70 new constituencies out of 90. Why shouldn't it be? Why should we not demand that first they show us which constituencies are supposed to be delimited? Do you know what they've been doing? They've been going to some MPs, naive MPs, dango that carrot, boy, iwe, tukabika ku constituency, so you must support. That is why you saw that jubilation. That is why you saw all those numbers. 3/4 of those that voted from the opposition, bali ba dango kariaka carrot, tika delimitation iwe boy, kutuka putulako.
But if you have such knowledge that bali bashita dango ama carrot, bali bashita convince, ukutira tibara shita delimited constituency yabo. If that was the case, then why were you shocked by their response and agreement with that?
Look,
if you can confirm
I am
that.
not shocked that members of parliament, some from the opposition, voted like that. I think if you've listened to me, I have been intimating to a lot of people that we actually are going to lose at the vote. I just never thought we would get those numbers. I just never thought people would fall that easily. By the way, whatever abantu kubacha drop muri bus, baba drop amailo muri bus kachoko baba fumishi. It's suspected people were quarantined somewhere there, somewhere. People, adults like ourselves, must have independent minds. If I'm going to support a bill like that, I must do it with conviction that it means well to colleagues. At this stage, you can't create over 100 seats in parliament. Fiscally, it's not tenable. This country is in ICU economically. We are failing to meet basic needs of our people. We should have been attending to these needs of our people. Look at the load shedding. Abantu na abachula kumalaiti mwe bantu. We should have invested in power generation. Imagine a country where the Minister of Finance is boasting not 5 billion in reserves. But abantu balala mu nfivi. The other day I posted when there was a blackout countrywide, the mines, you know, I am from a mining community. People were trapped from 03, Aingiro Muntu, 03 Papamgod, only to come out at 23 hours because Ifikwepe, that moves miners from underground, were stuck. There was no power. This is the situation we are in. So every resource we have now must be harnessed to the common good to the good of our people. I will tell you, it is not true. And I stand to challenge anyone. It is not true to suggest that constitution yalan that every after 10 days you must, or 10 years you must create new constituencies. That is not what the law says. At least I did a diploma in law. I can tell you that the law does not say every after 10 years you must create new constituencies. The law says every after 10 years you must revisit, rename if you want to rename, or adjust boundaries. It does not say create new constituencies. Delimitation does not mean necessarily that you create new constituencies. Delimitation simply means you realign the constituencies either by name or by boundaries. If you find that Nkana is too small, Kwacha is too big, you realign the boundaries. Mwasuna kokuli Kwacha, Mwabika kokuli Nkana. That is what delimitation means. You don't necessarily need to create new MPs or new constituencies. Those guys you've sent to parliament there, 33 quarters of them, there are some characters who have gone to parliament who have never said a word since they went there. No, you will never mwasari nobody no you wa shishito wa kuchipato you kuli rumezu. Elo Apere made a speech the other day. Imagine he has been in parliament for over 6 months. But Elo Apere made a speech. Okay, we have a lot of characters today. But you want to now increase that house. And then you increase that house. Meanwhile, the current setup is that we it's a small space. We literally sit like chicken. Over 100. Our friends in Tanzania, when they decided to increase the numbers, they started by first of all remodeling the house. That's when they did what we've done today. So these things we are supporting, let us not support blindly. Let us not easily be fooled by these deceptive moves. You know, I know by UPND babufi, but ubufi bumo chimone sambi. In fact, anyway. You cannot be doing what UPND is doing.
You talk delimitation and you talk also about proportional representation. You, however, okay, what else do you? Which other clauses do you feel are bad?
I'll tell you, one of the worst clauses in that is where power is shifting. I need to be I need to pinpoint the exact provision that dictates at nomination the powers will be entirely up to the ECZ to actually decide whether you qualify or not. Remember, the qualification of a member of parliament to stand or an individual to stand should be expressly enshrined in the law. The law currently expressly, states your qualification. You must possess a grade 12, you must be of sound mind, you must what, and what. If you leave it to an organ like the ECZ to decide to qualify or disqualify you, you are creating a monster and the posterity is going to judge you. Okay? I need to have a list of all the clauses so that I can pin down. I have done a very good, analysis of all the clauses, save for some have actually been changed by yesterday. Remember when we were discussing this, yesterday is when we saw a few changes. But overall, we have done a disservice to ourselves. Because whether the clauses are okay, as you are suggesting, the limitation is okay, inclusion of women and youth is okay.
But you confirmed that the inclusion of women and youth is okay as well.
It is okay. If we had the political will, we could have actually included them even now.
I think you know.
Okay. Now the other issue is you need to know also the dangers of a proportional representation. proportional representation gives unfettered powers to one individual to be able to wield power in appointing and otherwise. Remember, when everything else is said, this is what delimitation, proportional representation means. When the votes are counted, the women who go to parliament will be allocated, the number of women will be allocated to a political party based on the percentage of votes that a political party would have gotten in that election. So if political A gets 90% or 99%, it means that all the 20 women will come from one political party. All right? And all the youth will come from that political party. Do you know what that means? You would have given unfettered power to one individual, the president of that political party, to be able to send people to that parliament. Who is he going to send to parliament? Is it you people, or he could actually end up? Because you see, when we look at this, we must even look at the worst case scenario. You are going to have a fool in that office who may actually decide, I am going to only send to parliament people who are going to be clapping for me, or people who are loyal to me. He may pick relatives, and you'll have 20, 15, 5, 40 people picked from his household. Those are the dangers of creating a law without looking at what are the implications. So proportionate representation sounds very good, because for you are looking at the semantics of inclusions. But you must look at the dangers of giving unfettered power to one individual to be able to decide who goes into parliament. I think that we must always insist that the power to send representative or to elect representative must always be vested in the people. You must always be deciding, which is why we were so objecting the issue of removing by-elections. I'm glad that they removed the by-election, because it was completely absurd to suggest that a political party must replace the people in sending somebody to parliament or to represent people. So I think that overall, these are the concerns. Above all these concerns is what we've just done: entertained or legitimized and regard it.
Let us hear what our callers have to say this morning. The number is 0979958392. You can be a part of the conversations that we're having this morning. We have Honorable Binwell Mpundu, who is in studio with us, and he's given us some insights in regards to the bill that was passed yesterday with an overwhelming vote of 135 members of parliament. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Bwino muli bwanji?
Crown TV uko?
Niko Crown TV, ndi mwa ndani? Mutiuza kwa zina yanu na kwa mtumira. Hello?
It's gone.
All right, we've lost that caller. We can pick another call. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Yes, good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Please turn off your TV
yes, good
set.
morning. Good morning. How are you?
Please turn off your TV set.
Yes, this
Okay.
is Mr. Kapesa.
Okay, Mr. Kapesa, go ahead with your contribution.
What I'm just trying to say, I'm just trying to ask the Honorable here. What is wrong if you want to Wabata Parliament? And what is wrong if those people, when you are in Parliament, they are going to help other people in those new constituencies? What is wrong with that? Is it a problem to see someone and because those new constituencies, they are going to create even meaning we are going to have a touristic development those two areas. But what is wrong just to see someone and then what is wrong with that?
Thank you very much. Appreciate your contribution.
All right, before you come in, let's take some other callers. Hello, good morning.
Thank you.
Your name and where you're calling us from, sir?
I'm Joseph from Northern.
Okay, go ahead, Joseph.
I've never agreed with the big man here, Mr. Mpundu. Mainly on what he says politically, I don't. But on this one, I think he's being honest to all of us. What he's saying regarding the action of the speaker, for example.
one wonders, is she a referee or she sided? The other thing is the way he has explained the clauses that he agrees with and that he does not agree with. I think it makes sense to me as a person who's following this program. And I feel as patriotic Zambians, we should avoid aligning ourselves to political blindness. Instead, focus objectively on things that will benefit all of us as Zambians. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much for coming through. 0979-958392. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Morning, my sister.
Good morning. Go ahead with your contribution.
Bwanji, banda Mpundu bwanji.
Bwino bwanji.
Maona kuti vintu vinaukangani bado zengere soka kamba. Va biuteni ja va UPND vanachoka wose vaso inakanga kupita. Kwamba imwe ma MPs va PF ine. So kona mene munaimira ma independent. Simutandiza Zambia. In fact Mpundu kufunika nokamba hapa. Ngozi vinakukangani vintu ja biu inapasa. Maya muzatuza chani. Yamana zatuza chani. Ipo malala ndapo niishi. Safari hapa. Pamona. Wa UPND vanakuchalengani biuteni ja. Swana kwere parliament. But imwe munaenda wose kucha. Unaenda chitawo chake. Vaja vatani kireha. Simwe mirama Zambiani. Ima wose ma MC munachitaza mereji. I think it's in the vote. I'm telling you. What's one wavutika pa ground? Batareza ndakalipotenga ndalama kalipotenga kwefala. What are you doing with the parliament very mukamba mbicha? Mukati propose you 7 maraiti ni yovuta. Ndipo mampi wenira bantu. No, also no. Andika na amene bakamba kuti no irachita bwino kupasa. I think kuna kwisa province ni wangona ku support. Ni wangona mani. Ozi iwe tali mupera imwe alemba nakuzani chitani so unamona bali mundu ile sinizi wa parliament ukapenda kuchitako chani kaya bill 7 inakukangani mpaka ya pasa manje mutuza chani hapa kama mutuza chani mudandaula chani kama mudandaula alipo vile mukamba hapa ozi virakangi wa kudala wazani wanaikwanisa bill 10 wanaikwanisa bill kwino inakanga kuti ipite but wanaikwanisa kupita tikambaka chani Simu imirira abantu wasabota manamiza abantu bakonsole chikwana noma MPs wose Afrika mupumule mutuone chirala atiki mumvera ko chape kuzachimvera chirala muntu ukatoka pampando wa mdala umalira loko ndo officer in charge ukafika officer in charge wachitalitaya umavera topico yoboka so sindi mwandu wemirira abantu ayo ma MPs imwe very disappointed why isani Mpundu kwani nditemwa sana mule randa wino sana mu parliament but nishi ashikire mairo okay.
Yeah, 0979-958392. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, alright. Good morning, madam.
Good morning. Your name and where you calling us from?
You are speaking to 90% the people of Ruapula spokesperson Kapambwe. I am calling from here in Nigeria.
All right. Go ahead with your contribution.
Thank you. Mpundu.
Mukwai.
Mwabuka bibwino.
Atubuka bakalamba.
Wabuka. Yes, you are a man. I think umuntu ali ngokwinina neko afuma. Even the people of Ruapula, seeds of the people of Ruapula. Ngabamye batilandire ni chalo, muli baume mulalandire chalo. Lweti achitika muli generation mwapanga ala mupamba. Mupamba kozi mwashitarau ilipo constitution mu country pamulandu abantu bamukubumfye imfumu shabo mwalaba Zambian ichachitika chibi kozi kuti mwamuna keno kumona ti constitution tetive ya chalo epo muntu nokulira leliro kupapata okuti mpaka ipite timwaishiba tenga afu chalo ipoison kuchalo eba ba UPND mumebe kutira era ma powers bapera ba president ya kustake peo muntu mubate ya bwela kuli SG na president
nabina yakavakumu mulandu wako vati president eukala chuzinga peno mbewa ebo valepwana yesu jivampwana tiuta tule mukwaya pamustekipeo so wangu vachitire vilya nabina vakalira kozinga mwati muonenge vyo mulilanda ni benefit ya member of parliament bala member of parliament kulia kakwa ishona mini ya bachita kusumina kuite bachita ma jokes tapa poneti amano ebi ma constituency ngabale twani chitababulire ama constituency ndira mababika so that ishafula cause ne ine kote pini yaire moneka mu country kuti ya kuisa ibomba kuite and then bale vikira ma problem kuma Zambia and through taxpayers money iwe kwa pina which means poverty plus poverty mu country. Are you sure muntu wakwata wisdom walikwata mano tuwayasa ina biwi chintu kuli ne pintu kimobizishirwa uko abulo kushowinga tushowinye ama constituency mwa bano kusabilimited mwaka no kumona then badama member of parliament baya asumina ichile support okuta nombe chichawo chambo control baka in the through dictatorship but mulemu na mwapiro okuchingirira amazambiani pamulandu abantu bamoto wadishu bemfumo shabo but even nokumonekera nga nimpyejo balya pamulandu wapyo bachita titi puli kaba palibere nefika monekera tikeshibikwa nga chakwe bati muleti baleti tikwa mazambiani patintu bimo ikyobena muleta mu benefit nesa takapale ichume cha abantu abengapuka mukutushe niyo ya abantu because taxpayers money mbokutubaba ila parliament yako ata abantu 120 no mbamuye bichi ikira kwa abantu nabambi abanshi
as you conclude sir
mukupwirikisha beze mukushita praise baka inde ikiri meto bachite province no mbeto bachitane chalo tono mbamwatubika mugwapya kabiri yicha wamafye ngani abapye no sekwa no kulaba monangani abantu bambe abapye at least kulanda walelanda. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah, maybe Honorable, you can respond to some of these callers. Two of them very disappointed with members of parliament.
Yeah. So the gentleman who called first says, why don't you want others to also get a job of being an MP? Why don't you want certain places to have some development? It is a complete flawed thinking, that places will only get development when you have an MP. MP is not the one who brings development. This conversation, and I'm praying we can have organizations that can start having or going around the country educating people as to the roles of an MP. The primary roles of an MP is to go to parliament to legislate. The other added responsibility of development, we are merely mouthpiece who should go to central government to lobby for development. We don't even need to go lobbying for development from central government if the system is normal. If the country is functional, it's not a MP to go to the Minister of Local Government to go and plead for roads. That is why the Ministry of Local Government has got functions at the lowest level, the council. They must attend to roads. The council must attend to garbage. The ministries must do their responsibility. They must build infrastructure. They must do everything that is needed by the people in the communities. It is not the duty of a member of parliament to IPLF as an added responsibility because of the pressure in the communities. Okay? To suggest that development will only come when you have a member of parliament is wrong. To suggest that you can only have more money in the constituencies if they cut the constituents into is also very wrong. I'll ask you this. CDF was at 1.6 under PF. Today we are sitting at 40 million. Did the 40 million come because we delimitated? Allocating more money to community cannot only be done when there is delimitation. It is just a political will. If the UPND wanted to take 80 million to constituencies, they can do it even now. Besides, today, CDF only accounts for 2% of the national budget. But today, CDF literally handles everything. If the UPND wanted, they can increase it to 10% of the national budget, so that constituencies that were receiving 80 million can receive 200 million. So it is not by creating new constituencies that more money or development can go into the communities. It is simply political will. You cannot today be saying, let's create na banzanu bankareko na position yabu MP. You cannot create a law or you cannot amend the constitution so that you can create jobs for MPs or for politicians. You must be amending the constitution so that you can create more jobs for the citizens of this country. So that thinking first is very wrong. You should be saying, let's amend the law so that we, the citizens, can have more jobs, not that politicians can have more jobs. Because what we've done, if you interrogate all the clauses, they are simply speaking to the interest and the desires of the politicians, not the interest of the common people of Zambia. No, you are just creating opportunities for more politicians and not for citizens. The next person says, the actions of the speaker, where he says he actually disagrees with me on many things, but today he has agreed with me because, to start with, how does a referee, imagine the referee supports Arsenal, and Arsenal is playing with Manchester United, and then Arsenal scores, the referee starts celebrating. That is what the speaker did yesterday completely shows how biased she has always been, like we have always intimated. The speaker has shown a lot of biasness. She has never, castigated the ruling party MPs even when they are wrong. She is very quick to send us out even when we just laugh. A member of parliament for Milenge was sent out for simply laughing. But yesterday was a capping. She demonstrated the biasness she has always had. We know she comes from the UPND, but when you wear the robe of the speaker, you cease to be UPND. You must appear to be impartial. Oh.
but maybe let me ask you one thing. What do the standing orders say when the speaker is walking into or out of parliament?
Because some people actually say this could be ceremonial.
No. In fact, this is completely against the decorum of the House. The moving in and out of the speaker into the House is a solemn moment. When the speaker is moving in, you see always, it's a solemn moment. She has to move slowly, majestically, and we all have to be quiet. Every time you say any palatable there, they can actually send you out when she's moving out. The same way when she's moving in and out. To do what she did yesterday is a grave, abrogation of our standing orders. You cannot. That is a solemn moment. You can't go dancing. If it was any other person there doing that, it would have been a problem. We have been reprimanded for, singing in that house. We have been reprimanded for laughing, that you are laughing carelessly. People have been sent out for laughing. To allow the speaker to dance is against the etiquette of the House, is against the decorum. No matter how much you want to justify it, she will go down history as having done the unthinkable in that House.
Are we to expect any form of punishment?
Who can punish the speaker? The speaker is almighty. There's nobody who can punish her. And that is why she gets away with anything. She gets away with abuse. She can abuse you like I was being abused when I was debating. Colleagues, honestly, Mwebena Zambia. When we are debating, we are allowed to express ourselves. And then at the end of the day, if the speaker wishes, can correct you. No, paria, no, paria, no. You cannot have a member of parliament debating every sentence order. You can't. And we are reducing parliament. Unfortunately, for those who are on the side of the UPND, it sounds very nice. But for posterity, we are creating something that has never been, done ever before. So, yes, I agree with my brother. What the speaker yesterday is unthinkable. And I think that when she takes a moment, should be able to think twice about what she did, yesterday. He says we need to stop aligning to political parties blindly. And unfortunately, this has really been the order of the day. Some of the things we are agreeing to, some of the things we are objecting to, some of us who are objecting, are basically based on alignment. Because I'm opposition, I cannot support this even if it's nice. I remember making a proposition to Parliament that we start managing our mineral resources. I categorize them as strategic minerals. They all rejected and called me all manner of names, that I was being primitive, I was taking us back to 19 whatever. Only the next day to hear that the president has appointed a team to come up with a model on how we can start managing those strategic minerals. Imagine I made a proposition that we create a fume fund. I was scolded at by the UPND. They forgot that when we were enacting the fume policy in Parliament, we actually had a provision that should set up a fume fund. So, true to what my brother has said, we support and object based completely on political alignment, and it's suicide for the country. For once, we must put on lenses, objective lenses, that prioritize the interests of the nation, not the interests of the grouping that we subscribe to. The other person, the man from Eastern Province, is very disappointed with us. In fact, he says, MPs back opposition especially, we must actually be retired. He is very right. I actually commend UPND MPs. I think they've demonstrated from the time they were in the opposition to be disciplined and to be loyal. When they killed Bill 10, they demonstrated, unity of purpose. They demonstrated, purpose. If we were opposition, we have shown the worst manner of character. Okay? Because what we supported yesterday, based on stomachs and based on little carrots that were dangled in our faces, will go down in history. We have written a very unprecedented, historical narrative that will take many years to be forgotten. I think that is very right. He says, instead of focusing what is afflicting the people, we are focusing on Bill, 7. He is very right. Today, instead of us harnessing our resources to pay farmers, FRA has not yet paid farmers. The rains have already set. Farmers are supposed to be planting. They have not been paid. The little resources we want to be giving to politicians by creating more positions for politicians should have been harnessed to create opportunities for more farmers to be on the FISIP program so that we can produce more food.
Right.
Okay? He is very right because, look, we are more interested in creating positions for ourselves instead of worrying about the electricity situation, worrying about the farmers who are not being paid, worrying about the numbers of farmers who are getting the FISIP, support. We should have increased the numbers. The monies that is going to go to MPs, the MPs that have been created, the over 100 MPs that will be created after this process, could have done magic to the issues affecting our people. And so the gentleman from the Eastern Province is very right. But he also must be reminded, the worst culprit in yesterday's episode are members of parliament from Eastern Province. These Easterners, I know Easterners are very down, but what they did yesterday is unthinkable. Remember, those MPs are sponsored by a political party, which political party took a position. The UPND in opposition took a position on Bill 10. Because if you compare Bill 10 and Bill 7, they are literally almost the same things. But the UPND took a position and the MPs obliged. But PF Bena, the party takes a position if you are vote. And especially those MPs from the Eastern Province. So the Easterners, you must be reminded, you must be told, we are extremely disappointed with your children. They've defied this land. A collective responsibility entails that when you, as an organization, agrees on a position, so be it. That is why the UPND are being praised by the same gentleman. They are being praised because they collectively agreed on a position, even if that position was erroneously so decided. They obliged, because some of the issues that the UPND were objecting in Bill 10, they are the ones that they've passed under Bill 7. But they agreed as an organization. So anyway, we take the beating. We did a disservice to the people, but I stand very proud myself that despite being bullied yesterday, despite being reduced to a non-entity by the speaker, I still stood my ground, and I'm glad I didn't lose my cool. I still represented my people. I spoke my mind. I stayed away from voting, because voting for me, whether I voted yes or not, would have meant me legitimizing that illegality. I want to put it very clear. I did not sit to vote. Those 2 votes you saw yesterday, it was not from me. I even told yesterday the parliament that nganalanda fenendefuma, because for me sitting would have meant legitimizing an illegality. That is why I went out and never voted. When that time comes, when this issue will be challenged, even those who voted against, who have been part of the commission of that illegality, and they can actually pay.
You have kept on talking about carrots that were dangled. Did anybody approach you to dangle these carrots? And if not, why are you sure that there were carrots that were dangled with other members of
look, some of the conversation that goes on in the closed doors, we don't reveal them. Otherwise, we'll be opening ourselves up to challenge, say who brought the carrot, okay? But every process like this, there are carrots that are dangled. Others will call it lobbying.
Right.
Okay, lobbying is a legal term, but it's corruption still. But others would want to mask it and say lobbying. There was lobbying, serious lobbying that was going on, including yesterday when we were sitting. Ministers would come to your desk, lobby. Except some of us, when we make a position, informed by truth, we don't move.
Right. You mentioned earlier, as we are coming to a wrap of our conversation, you mentioned earlier that you're vying for the highest office, for the highest position with Ichaba Iche. What are we to expect? And do you think you've done enough to be able to communicate people being able to vote for you as we're getting to elections 2026?
I think the Zambian people now, if we are not economic with the truth, we all now know, including yourselves guys, we have tried these politicians. Okay, we've tried them. You've rejected some. Those you thought we've never tried them, let's try them, you've tried them. The performance of the current leadership, the UPND, is the worst we have had in history. Now, interestingly, it will come back to the people to make a decision as to what sort of leaders we would want. I believe time has come for us to bring into office people who have, the love of the country. And for me, I have demonstrated over time my love for the people of Zambia, that I'm able to ignore all manner of enticement. I'm able to be ridiculed. I'm able to be persecuted, so that I stand with the people of Zambia. What I believe Zambia needs is a resetting. We've tried the same people at leadership. They've failed us. We've tried so many old folks at leadership. They've all failed us. I think time has come for us to raise new, giants at leadership. And that is why, for me, my message has been, let the young generation arise. Because this is a moment when history must be rewritten. Okay? You cannot be a country that tries the same cycle of people over and over again and you're expecting difference. I've always said that insanity, like they remark, is trying the same thing over and over again and you expect different results. If you take stock of the people who are serving you in the highest offices today, they've been at the game since, 1991. Ba Felix, ba Sylvia, ba Ambrose, na ba Shala. Surely they've not demonstrated that they have anything under their sleeve to make Zambia better. If anything, Zambia keeps on going worse. This is the first time in history that we are having these unprecedented levels of load shedding at the hands of the people that had promised heaven on earth when they were campaigning. So for me, my message to the people of Zambia is that a time has come for us to, I think, realign, raise a new crop of leaders. And I am one of those people, I think, for me, who comes to the table with experience. Having been in politics for 19 years, having served in public service, having served, under the wing of the legislature, I think I possess, requisite experience and qualification for me to be able to provide the leadership for this country. But I'm not in the business of forcing. For me, what I believe I must do is simply to present myself and what I hold for the people of Zambia. The rest is up to the Zambian people, to make a decision. For me, what I think we should never do is to continue entertaining actors who have failed to perform on the stage. They say a good actor leaves the stage while his people are clapping. The sad part with politicians is that they will never leave the stage. You need to pull them off the stage. I think time has come for us to pull some of these political players off the stage. Only then, I believe firmly that this country would align, because we have derailed. I am encouraging young people like yourselves. This is your moment to redefine history. The systems have crumbled in this country. That is why now you can barely distinguish between the legislature, executive, and the judiciary. They are almost being controlled by one person. It's dangerous. We need to realign our systems of governance because they've failed us. We need to change the players because these players have outlived their usefulness. Time has come to reset and open up a chapter of new leaders to take this country forward.
All right. Well, there we have it. We are glad that you were part of our conversations this morning. Thank you for making the time.
Thank you so much, guys.
We will keep an eye out.
Thank you.
Unfortunately,